a tiny bit older. But what they did is they went to Berklee College of Music. So I was like, I want to go to Berklee. I want to follow in the footsteps of the guys that I really look up to. So I had to convince my parents to send me to a music college. I don't know if you guys have ever tried that.
I did. I have 4 years eligibility left.
Yeah. It's, I mean, now as my kids are older and my son goes to Berklee and I have no problem with it.
Slow down, I'll get to that.
Okay. But at the time, they were like, we're not going to send you to music college. Like, you need to fall back on something. I'm like, I'm not.
There's always McDonald's.
Yeah. I'm like, I'm not falling back. This is what I'm doing. I'm not falling back. Anyway, he was a music teacher in high school that didn't even teach me. He was a band teacher, and I didn't play a band instrument. But I would go into his quiet classroom in off periods and practice all the time. So he knew me from that. And it was some kind of parents' night, and he came up to my parents and he said, you need to send him to Berklee. It's the right thing to do. This is what he's meant to do. So it was that teacher. It was a music teacher in high school.
Did you play real fast then? Was that hard for you?
It wasn't hard for me. Once I got the hang of it, it wasn't hard. What I used to do when I was young, so 15, 16, 17, the way that I learned, and I highly suggest you guys do this, young guys and old guys, because a lot of guys spend time at home practicing, but they don't really get out there and play with other people or improvise or jam. And the way I learned how to play guitar is I would constantly go to jam sessions. So I had all these different groups of people. Like there were guys that were into the Grateful Dead. There were guys that were into like metal. There were guys that were into the blues. And I would literally go to all these different basement parties or just little jams, and
you can find those now on YouTube. They don't exist otherwise.
I actually had recently one of the guys, because we used to record everything on cassette, and I ran into one of my old friends, and he put everything on a CD, and I have those old jams when I was like 16, and my wife keeps saying, you got to put that out, because she's like, you play the same then that you do now. So maybe we'll put them.
You told us about a cassette of he and Leo Fender talking about guitar, amp speakers and stuff.
Yeah.
And so he's going to get this. You've got the CD.
Yeah.
What do you do when you hit the wall?
When I hit the wall, I call Sterling Ball.
You actually have a few times. But what do you do? I mean, everybody. You guys ever hit the wall where you feel like you want something to happen and they
Yeah. Here's what I find. Maybe you guys could relate to this as musicians. Like every day is almost a different experience as a player. Like you wake up, you pick up your guitar, and like, okay, I sound pretty good today. What did I do last night? What did I eat? And the next day you try to do the same thing, and you suck, and you're like, what happened? So, I think it's the type of thing where you're constantly learning and searching and growing, and you have to sort of get over those hurdles. So I guess what I do when I hit a wall is just say to myself, it's not something that's going to last. Like mentally I say, oh, tomorrow's another day, and I'll probably remember how to play guitar tomorrow. So that's what I do. I just think about
not putting too much pressure on
exactly. Yeah, not getting too much in your head.
There was one time, as John's music got more complicated, and the recording process would be recording in pieces, and then when they go on tour, they'd have to play the assembled thing. And I hope this isn't out of school, but we've done so many of these that I gotta pull out.
No, go for it.
Okay, he was really bummed out because he didn't feel like he was playing good enough, and he really was. But the things that he could play in bits, he was struggling with the thing, and he called me. And so number one, you didn't record it like that. Now you're trying to reproduce it. But I put somebody on the phone to talk to you.
Yeah. So we had this conversation about it, about trying to achieve a level of excellence and kind of being too hard on yourself. Trying to recreate these things that you recorded in the studio live. So he put his good friend Scott Hamilton.
The figure skater, world champion.
Yeah, and he got on the phone. We had this conference call. We had this great conversation about, I guess his experiences, right, with doing Olympic routines
He's a
and getting
four-time
out.
world champion, and I was trying to show that one of the things in life is everything's the same. I don't care. I don't know if you know, I'm a championship barbecue cook. I was the
You need to
national-
taste his
I was
food
the
when you
national pork champion last year. I spent 25 weeks a year cooking. Okay, I'm the kept California Team of the Year, number 3 out of 8,000. Everything I do in barbecue, I do in guitar. Everything's important. There's not a single thing that's not important, and it's understanding what those things are that are important. And I think Scotty told you about performing and separating the expectations from that,
Right.
and how to go.
Great. It actually